Hey guys, this is question FM096 of the Further Maths Sharpened Study Guide. Jumping straight in, this says a student records how much they cry in the months leading up to their exams by measuring the daily volume of their tears in milliliters. So A says the 5-number summary for the distributions of daily crying for the month of August is displayed in the table below. So we have this table down here that's showing us the minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and the maximum. We then have this little statement here: there are no outliers in this distribution. Using a 5-number summary above, construct a box plot on the grid below. Cool. So, in order to do this, all we need to do is plot, number one, plot the 5 points that are given here, and then draw a box plot in, which is going to look like this. So our minimum occurs at 10. So we have 1 point here. It's going to be kind of hard to see on this graph. I might even just do it down here so you guys can see a bit better. 10, 14. Now if 15 is here, then 14 is going to be somewhere around here. 35 is our next point, over here. 49 is going to be just underneath 50. And then 68 is our final point there. Cool. Now I'm going to grab my ruler and I'm going to connect the last 2 dots on each side. So these two and these two, because that's where my whiskers are going to sit. And then I'm going to shimmy my ruler down like this, draw a line the same length between the first quartile and the third quartile, and then also shimmy it up and do the same thing. Now I can connect these parts here. And there it is, there's my box and whisker plot, or my box plot. So, drawn. Part B, oh sorry, no, not part B. That was part I. Part II says, what percentage of days did the student cry 49 mil or more of tears this particular August? So we know that our 49 occurs at Q3, and we want to look at the percentage of days that the student cried 49 milliliters or more. Now the answer is 25%, and the reason is because if 49 occurs here and we want to look at the days that have more, 25% of our data falls in between here and here. So the way that median works, of course, you guys already know, our median separates half of our data between the bottom and the top. Now, even though this box plot looks like, there should be more in this whisker than there is in that whisker, there's actually the same amount of data in each whisker. It's just clustered differently. So down here, we've got a lot of data sort of clustered into one area, while up the top, it's more spread out. So there's 25% in each one of these portions, which is why the box plot actually helps us to visualize data in the first place. Cool, so let's move on to the next question. So part B says the box plots below display the distribution of daily crying for the months September and October. So our last one gave us August, now we're looking at September and October. Describe the shapes of the distributions of daily crying, including outliers, for September and October. So for September, let's have a look here. Now we can see here that September is negatively skewed because we've got this long tail coming off the end and this clustering happening up on the top half. So first of all, we know that September is, sorry, not September, October. My mistake, guys. So October is negatively skewed. October is negatively skewed, and we have this outlier over here. So we're going to say negatively skewed with an outlier. Now, if there were multiple outliers, we'd tell them how many outliers there were, but it's just one, so you can say with an outlier. or you could say, you know, if there was 3 outliers, you could say outliers, or if you want to be really careful, say with 3 outliers. September. Now, September is approximately symmetric. And once again, just to cover your own asses, I guess, approximately symmetric. So, with no outliers. So you want to kind of be as specific as possible. So the approximately symmetric, if this isn't exactly symmetric, and even if you're pretty sure that it's exactly symmetric, I mean, it's sometimes you don't know, especially on graphs like this where one point to the right would mean that it's not exactly symmetric. Approximately symmetric is usually the way to go, unless you know for a fact that it is 100% symmetric. And this with no outliers, just specifying, yeah, there are no outliers there. So once again, being a bit pedantic, but you got to do it sometimes if you want those full marks. Or at least be sure that you're going to get full marks. So, on to part B. So that was part BI. Let's have a look now at part BII. So determine the value of the lower fence for the October box plot. So looking here, now we're probably going to make these a bit more accurate by the time you guys have them. So you might have a grid or something behind. But for part BII, to find the value of that lower fence, what we're going to need is, to find the lower fence, we use Q1 minus, and then our 1.5 times IQR. So that's going to give us our lower fence. That's our equation for finding the lower fence. So first of all, Q1, the first quartile for October, is around about 145, we'll call it. So Q1 is at 145. And we get a minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. So to calculate the interquartile range, that's going to be Q3 minus Q1, which is 170 minus 145, just going off the box plot here. Once again, guys, we'll have more accurate versions of these for you. And that's equal to 25. So our IQR is 25. We substitute that in up here. And then this is going to equal out to 100 and, whoops, oh no, we're all good, 107.5. So that's your answer for part BII, guys. That's what, sorry, that's the lower fence. And for your October box plot. Cool. Now, going on to III. Using the information in the box plot to explain why daily crying is associated with the month of the year. Quote the values of appropriate statistics in your response. So guys, whenever they say quote values of appropriate statistics, that kind of thing, if you're trying to explain why daily crying or something is associated with the month of the year, if something's associated with something else, they're asking for appropriate statistics. They're either asking for interquartile range changing over time, or they're asking for the change in median over time. I like to use median unless the median is the same. That's the only time I'll use interquartile range. But a possible answer to this would be something like the median amount of daily crying increases from 80 mil in September to 166 mil in October. So guys, the thing that this sentence does is it compares the two medians. So it says, look, we were at 80 mil for a median in September, and that increases to 166 mil in October. So you need to draw the comparison between the two to show the association in time. So we can obviously see here that the median has gone up between 2 months, which means there is an association between time. And obviously in this case, it's in October, they're getting close to exams, they're crying more. And we're just proving it here by drawing that comparison. Alright guys, that's question FM096. If you have any questions about that, please drop them in the comments below or hit us up on our Facebook page, shoot us a message, put a post up, however it is that you prefer to communicate, and someone will be sure to help you.